It has been many years.
It's been a long time since
9 months.
Yeah, something pretty good like that. Because I tried to force myself to sit down and edit out all of the bad save states to make it one continuous smooth thing like the previous segment. But I tried to do this a couple times and Premiere crashed because the files I was trying to edit were 200 gigs a piece. And so I lost a lot of progress like several times and became discouraged. And then I had the brilliant idea to say, screw it, I will keep in all the bad save states, but multiply the playback speed by 300%. So we're watching me attempting to finish up Geothermal Core at 3 times the speed as when I did it. So that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it's not really any more interesting, but, I tried.
It was either that or this video would probably never get made. So, I remember basically nothing about what was discussed last time other than I assume you explained how this works up to a certain degree, and then after that 10 minutes was done, we probably went off on a tangent.
Probably.
I know that I was talking about my planned Pokemon X team of 6 shitty Pokemon, which by this time is now complete, and the ending of which is already on YouTube, so that's already spent.
I would like to take a moment to clarify this, though. Since this was recorded, several AGDQ and SGDQs have come and gone, and from those, I have actually learned more about the mechanics behind what's actually going on here. So, this process is actually a lot easier and just as hard at the same time as I'm making it look. But here's the raw mechanics behind what's actually going on here, according to experts in the field. So every room has this collision box around it, and inside this collision box, normal physics apply. And outside of this box, you keep a set height, but you rise slowly, you can't jump, and if you morph ball, you just fall. So what you're supposed to do to navigate around out of bounds like this is you figure out where this box is, and you stay outside the box, and then you move back into the box, and for the first 3 frames after you do this, you can jump. So you move back into the box, jump within 3 frames, and then move back outside the box. And you keep doing that, and you'll get height off of it. You combine that with hitting doors with your gun and hitting load triggers, which are invisible and sometimes hard to find and finicky, and that's basically the entire process for doing all of this.
That sounds about accurate from what I'm seeing of this, because I've never really done it myself. It still looks like absolute horse manure, but like right here, I have no idea why this door isn't loading. I assume you missed a trigger somewhere.
Yeah, it's the doors load. They also have their own invisible boxes, but the problem is these boxes tend to actually be inside the geometry, and they'll like clip outside of it in specific positions, and they're all different. So it's like sometimes like this, you just kind of have to fidget about until you find the magic pixel that loads the next room, which, as you can see, I'm having difficulty with here.
So, since it's been a while, anybody who is not watching these as a playlist all at once, and, like, hasn't seen these in quite a long time, may forget why exactly this is happening. The entire purpose of... by the way, this map screen pretty good. The entire purpose of going through all this crap is to get the plasma beam without the boost ball, which is generally considered the biggest hurdle when lowering the low percent from 23 to 22. The first discovered way to get the boost ball is in Geothermal Core to climb up a tall series of platforms and then do a like near perfect scan dash off of an enemy 500 feet below you at a horrible angle and land inside a morph ball hole in midair, which sounds about as good as it actually is. Alternate methods include the rodeo jump, which sounds really easy in theory, but I have no idea how to do it, and the floaty jump, in which you take lava damage during a cutscene by, like, freezing a space pirate in midair and jumping out of bounds and then touching the lava from below while shooting a power conduit. And then, like, as you end the cutscene, you have these weird floaty mechanics where you can jump really high. So, out of those three options, we chose the fourth, which is to do wall crawling.
Right.
Which is the one used when you skip space jump.
Which is arguably the easiest of them, because, and I say arguably because it's extremely subjective, but honestly, like, now that I've got some amount of experience with this and I know exactly how it works, I would rather do this than the extremely precise and specific garbage you have to do to wedge yourself into the boost ball slot in Geothermal Core anyway.
With save state abuse, this one definitely seems like the most feasible, because the other ones are a matter of pulling off a really hard trick. This one's just a matter of perseverance and not getting stuck. And if you can save and have backup saves, then that eliminates most of that problem.
Just to be clear, most of this video is me having difficulty with the Warrior Shrine. I have difficulty loading it, then I have difficulty navigating over it, then I have difficulty unloading it and loading the next room, which is what I'm trying to do right now. Because, like, whenever I pull up the map in the upper right corner, I'm checking to see if that map has progressed to the next room, which it freaking won't. The load trigger, for some reason, is, like, in one of these pipes underneath the power bomb expansion, and, like,
I like that there with the morph ball sticking out of the ceiling.
Yeah, there's some pretty good camera angles going on here.
Yeah, this is just a weird room in general, because the Warrior Shrine has, like, that pipe that just deposits you down into this room, and there's not too many places in this game with a morph ball tunnel that leads from one room to another that I can remember.
Yeah, it is unusual.
Like, there's a couple of them, and usually they have those little, like, spiky metallic
bomb
hatches.
Doors, yeah. But that one, there was no such transition.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is pretty good. We got, I think, 36 minutes of this. But we will get the plasma beam in this section. Have faith.
And then after that, we've got another excellent series of crap to get through. But luckily, I can't think of any parts after this that will be specifically worse in 22%. Because the biggest hurdles in 22 are this, the vent shaft, and the life grove thing. And this is the last of those three. So after this point, we basically have long sections of really bad combat. The horrific jumps that you have to make in the second half of Phazon Mines, and then
I forgot about those.
Those will be fun.
Shit.
Those are actually, like, they're awful, but with save states and not having to reload and play through 10 minutes of rooms to get to the hard jump, I think it'll actually be kind of fun.
Oh, yeah, maybe. That's true.
And then, other than that, we've got 3 of the hardest boss fights in the game. So, one of those being Ridley, which is really easy to cheese if you have the boost ball, which you don't. But anyway, yeah. I don't know what else to say about this, really.
I'm attempting to wall crawl, and as you can see, sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. Like, there. And there. I'm trying.
Did the AGDQ stuff do low percent, or...?
No. It's just that in the any percent speedrun of this game, there's a lot of wall crawling anyway, because going around the rooms is usually faster than going through them.
Okay, then.
So there's several sections where they do this, and the thing is, the guy who does it there is the same guy whose 22% run I'm using for reference material in this section. And he is so good at wall crawling that he can just, at a marathon event, he can just navigate through tons of rooms like this. He just has in memory where all of the boxes are for every room. He knows where all the loading triggers are. He knows, he can get wall crawls and just crank them out with no difficulty whatsoever. 3-frame tricks every single time, and he gets them every time. It's pretty crazy.
Jeez. I have not watched a Metroid Prime speedrun in so many years. I don't think I've ever seen one that actually used wall crawling.
The current record does mostly wall crawling, I think, and it's 58 minutes, which is pretty crazy.
Christ.
They've got it down pretty far.
Any percent or 100?
Any percent. 100 is, actually, I don't think I've seen a 100% run of this game, but I recently watched a 100% speed run of Prime 2, and that was 2.5 hours.
That game is a lot of back and forth crap, so I can understand that.
It is. Even in the speed run, they revisit each area at least twice. Except the main outdoors area. Basically, they don't touch that until they have to. That's a one and done.
Yeah, I just remember back in 2005 or whenever the hell it was. God, it might have even been earlier than that. The original Metroid Prime speedrun by Radix in 1 hour 37. It was basically the first, well-documented speedrun that was actually on the internet, at all. And I watched that one a number of times, and that's what kind of got me into doing tricks in this game anyway.
Honestly, I've found that doing tricks in this game is probably more fun than most other games. And it's just because,
the physics are so weird.
The physics are so weird in this game, and honestly, pulling off the tricks isn't very hard for almost any of them. Now, when you start to chain them together and get into complicated stuff, then it gets hard, but...
Yeah.
Any individual trick, like ghetto jumping, or, wall crawling, just if you were to do it once, is not hard to do. It's not even hard to clip yourself out of bounds. At the beginning of this segment, I clipped myself out of bounds by jumping at some roots. And that's all it took. So
yeah. Yeah, it's I've stated before, probably not in these videos, but just somewhere, that, this list might be updated now, but my top 3 favorite games of all time at least were at one point this, Mario 64, and Majora's Mask. And one thing that all 3 of those games have in common is all 3 of them are glitchy as shit, and they're not particularly hard to glitch.
Yeah.
DK64 is also glitchy as shit, but in that one they kind of leak into the main gameplay.
Yeah.
This one, these, you can play through the game a dozen times and never notice anything until you find out what it is you're supposed to do, and it's oh, bomb hovering is a thing, let me try it, and then I get it on my first try.
Yeah. I think in DK64, my favorite glitch is just the moon kick. That thing is such an anomaly. What the hell is this? You do an air attack just on the same frame that you hit the ground, and that causes your character, specifically DK usually, to do a ground attack that launches him a set height and distance up and forward that you can direct but can't control otherwise. It's what the heck? How does that even happen?
Yeah, I don't know. There's...
I also like how the walls just kind of don't exist sometimes in that game.
Yeah.
The walls are for show.
I'd like to know, if we're trying to figure out why glitches work, I'd like to know why the ghetto jump exists. Why does humping a wall make you go higher?
I have an idea as to why that might be the case. I think it's because, I think they might not be normalizing, I don't think they're normalizing Samus's velocity vector. And what I mean by that is, when Samus
Pause,
is traveling in any direction, she should always have a maximum speed she can travel, but she doesn't. It changes based on certain conditions. And what I think happens is, like, when you run at a wall, you have a set velocity forward, and then you collide with the wall and you get a set velocity upward, and these two combined gives you a greater velocity in an upward and forward direction, so that when you jump you maintain it and you're actually moving faster than you're supposed to be moving, because you're moving the same speed in two different directions, so a greater overall speed in both directions combined, if that makes sense. It's vector math.
Yeah, it kind of makes
It's a
sense.
hypothesis. I don't have evidence to back it up, but
Yeah.
just my intuition as a programmer tells me that's probably what it is.
Is this it? Is this getting into the core?
I think we're getting close. I don't think we're there yet, though. I think we've got a couple more, like, random intermediary rooms to go. This looks so stupid.
It really does.
Jumping up and down on this door. Open, damn it!
Like, Samus is too cool to try and kick down a door the normal way. She has to glitch out of bounds and then stomp on it from above.
This is just the best. This is what this game has reduced me to.
I am reminded of a line from Dr. McNinja where he successfully kicks down a wooden door, and then he's like, usually that doesn't work. I'll just kick on the door, and then somebody will be like, oh, did the pizza delivery guy get here? Why did he knock really, really loudly and only once?
Here's a question: Should we do a low percent run of the second game?
That is up to you, because I know nothing about the tricks in that game, but I would not necessarily mind learning them. So it would be a complete learning experience for both of us. All I know about that game is they fixed the ability to stand on most shit because they made you slide off of a lot of geometry. And there's some kind of weird glitch where you can, like, fall through walls by, like, screw attacking into a different wall and having the recoil push you through one.
Yeah, the screw attack is really weird in that game.
Because the screw attack is obtained so late in the game in the normal sequence, I'm not really sure where that comes into play.
Well, the thing is, the screw attack, if you want it to be, the screw attack can be one of the first items you get.
Okay, how the fuck do you get there?
What happens is that this is the best. You basically play the game normally up to getting to Aegon Wastes. Then you there's, I don't remember what room it is, but there's a room that's the elevator between Aegon and the
Sanctuary.
The sanctuary. And what you can do is you can do some kind of trick to get through there. Oh yeah, that's right.
Is it the one where the worm sticks you in a wall?
That you do use that at some point, but I don't think that's what it is. I think what happens is there's a seeker door guarding the other side, so you just wall crawl out of bounds and just go around it, and then you can just get to Sanctuary that way. So you get to Sanctuary, and then you more or less, like, using ghetto jumps and, like, just weird tricks, navigate around to get to where the chasm before you get
That
the
was a
screw
pretty
attack.
good drop right there. I liked that one.
Oh shit, I missed it.
You just morph balled and then, like, hit an invisible slope and careened off into the
Oh,
void.
that's pretty good.
By the way, seizure warning. No, it's
Yeah.
not actually that bad. Just the amount of stuff flickering in and out of existence is pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But,
I like the collision in here. Like, what am I even standing on?
it looks like you're in the room. I don't know what...
I'm not. That's the thing. I'm on top of it.
But, yeah, I've only looked up a couple things about Prime 2. And, honestly, I think the worst of that game might be, surviving the Dark World with only one energy tank.
I have not seen that be done.
Because it's been a while since you've played through it, but do you remember the Boost Guardian?
Yes, I do.
The, Boost Guardian in itself is already kind of a difficult boss, and it's made worse by the fact that
he's rendered as a joke with a powerbomb.
Oh, do you...
He's made completely useless with a powerbomb.
You get power bombs before that? In that
Yeah,
one?
you do.
Okay. Then in that case, the fact that you're constantly taking damage and have no dark... No, actually... Do you have a dark suit? I'm assuming the
No.
dark suit.
Dark suit is one of the last things you get.
Then how do you survive the toxic atmosphere for more than like 5 seconds?
Early on, it's just being fast, and glitching around things.
If you're
but
out
you
of
actually-
bounds, do you still take damage?
Out of bounds, you do, yeah.
Because I seem to remember in normal gameplay, when you go to the Dark World for the first time, even like the mad dash between 2 safe zones that are like 10 feet apart can drain like 20 health. I'm probably remembering wrong though.
I don't remember exactly, but I know that what happens is in the Dark World you actually get the light suit like halfway through.
The fuck?
Yeah. Because the game does not check to make sure you've returned all the energy controller's energy.
Oh, it only checks the
It
last
only
one.
checks Sanctuary. So what you do
Good old
is-
Ocarina of Time programming.
yeah. Actually, Ocarina of Time programming seems to kind of be all over that game, because that's not the only case where it does that. There's a few other cases where it's only like, I'll check this and none of the others and assume you got it right.
Freaking DK64 does it too.
Yeah, DK64
Like, how
does
hard
it too.
is
With
it-
key 3 and key 8.
How hard is it to make a game check for all of the variables instead of only like 2?
It's really not. I don't understand why they didn't do that. I think this is the last room before the
That's a
geothermal
pretty
core.
good thing there.
Yeah. He's waiting
Just
for me.
T-posing Magmar. Well, it would be T-posing if it had arms. For some reason now all I can think of is the stupid T-pose character victory screen from Smash 4, where like Wario is T-posing on top of his bike and not moving along with it at all. And so now I'm just imagining this thing on top of the bike. Like, like
It's pretty good. Is this the last room before geothermal core? I think it is.
probably. And then you get to climb up a really tall room and then
Yeah, that'll be fun.
hopefully find a way in. Wasn't that the hard part, actually? It was like finding a way to drop into the room. Or can you just morph ball through the ceiling?
You can't... Well, no. What happens is you climb all the way up to the top of the room, and then you go above where the door is, and you drop down, and you hit the door and load it from there.
Oh, I see we're floating here.
Yeah, I don't really know why I decided to do that. Maybe I just decided, you know what, I don't feel like wall crawling, so
I
I'll
like
just...
that glowing lava effect, too. It's really
Yeah.
good.
Well, if it wasn't going at 3 times the normal speed, it would probably not look as bad, but... Also, Samus is pretty excited with her gun there. This is pretty good. We should
I wonder
play-
what the music would actually sound like.
It would sound like the music that plays when a small bird carries you over a disproportionately small gap.
Hmm. Well, that was a good. That
It's
was a good
exciting.
use of time.
Now we jump around on it a little bit.
Jump around, and get down. Let's stare at that beautiful lava texture. I like when doors just refuse to open.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know exactly where their triggers are supposed to be. I don't know how you're supposed to tell either. Like, I assume they're right in front of the door, but 9 times out of 10, you can't get near right in front of the door because there's, like, a tall collision in the way.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I go halfway back through the room, and I'm like, okay, let me try coming at it again.
Do a little tiny nudge. Like, there was an excellent little bit there that only lasted a couple seconds where
Or I was
you were
just
just kind of
kind
like
of nudging along.
forward, yeah.
Come on. And then I paused to look it up, and I thought I cut this out. Okay.
I guess it was a relatively short one.
There we
So
go.
Stupid.
So I guess you have
Oh,
to
yeah, here we
bomb
are.
jump around on it for some reason. And then I paused to look up something else. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to wall crawl all the way to the top, very slowly and painstakingly, and then we're going to drop on top of the door.
Also, in the background to the right, there's another one of those enemies just sliding in and out of the lava. It's pretty excellent.
It's actually trying to attack me from way over there.
Like, what the shit?
I didn't even notice that.
Is that even in the same room?
No, it's in the other room that I just came from.
Oh, yeah, you have to deload that one, dude, don't you?
No, I don't. Because I'm not going through any other rooms.
Well, you're going to go into the room with the plasma beam.
I am, but... No, that winds up not being an issue.
Okay. Because you can't have 3 rooms loaded at once,
No,
right?
you can't. But probably while I'm wall crawling, I hit some kind of trigger that unloads it or something. Oh, does the game even think I'm in Geothermal Core? No, it doesn't.
Oh, that's why the enemy's still active.
Yeah.
Then why are the frickin' puddle spores in here? I figured those would be actors that load with the room.
Well, this room is still loaded. I'm just not in it.
Okay. I guess that makes sense.
I seem to remember that I climb to the top of this and then have difficulty because the game still thinks I'm in the other room. I think like I drop all the way back down, unload that room, and then come back to the top.
Jeez,
Or
spoilers
something.
much.
Check how much time is left.
Good 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes, okay. I wanted to show it.
Yeah, this shows the tedium that is this process.
Of course, if you get good at wall crawling, it won't take this long. Like, the reference footage I used for all of this took 10 minutes to do the whole thing. 10 or 30, I don't remember which.
That's a pretty big gap, but okay.
Well, one way or the other, the guy got through from the moment he clipped out of bounds in the Chozo Ruins elevator all the way to getting the plasma beam was either 10 or 30 minutes. I don't remember which. But keep in mind, it's taking me, I think in total it took us like 5 hours.
God.
And I think that was only one session. I think we did this in two sessions.
Well, this session was... It became 36 minutes after you sped it up 3 times and eliminated certain footage from it, so...
And also, there's another segment already rendered before this one.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long it's taken me in total, but it's nowhere near 30 minutes. However, you too can do this in a mere 30 minutes. If you get good and don't suck like I do.
Let's just stare at that rectangle over there.
Now I get to try to navigate to the door.
See, you've gotten high enough. The game still thinks you're in Twin Fires, I think.
It does, because I haven't hit whatever necessary triggers. And I think what's about to happen is I'm going to walk over to that door, realize, oh, it won't open because I'm still in the previous room, and then have to do all this again. I don't know why I didn't cut it out. I didn't look at any of this. I just wanted to be done with it. Okay, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to get on top of the room. Okay.
Do you remember if, like in an earlier video, we ever showed off the other methods
door's just
to get
gone.
through this? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and here's where I realized, well, shit, that's not going to work. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, what did you ask?
If we ever showed off the other ways to get up there.
We did. I didn't actually do them.
Like, I know you
because
weren't
I'm not
successful, but...
good, but...
Good.
We showed off the general process in an episode that I think was a few segments earlier. Like, we had to cross through this room at some point to get to somewhere else, and we showed it off then. Good times. Now I gotta try to unload this room.
Strong bad, read a book.
And here's a picture of me having the ball at the top of the key.
Here's a photo of me at the Grand Canyon. Do you see? And here's me at Mount Rushmore. Do you see?
South Park is a weird show.
I like it though. Had this excellent moment the other day when we were at the game store for D&D, and the DM was talking about, like, so which shitty candidate are you going to vote for? And so, like, he and this other guy were kind of talking about that, and I just kind of spoke up and said, did you ever see the South Park episode Douche and Turd? And then a couple seconds passed, and I'm like, you know, out of context, that probably sounded really, really stupid and unrelated. Like, because the Douche and Turd episode is just about, like, having to choose between shitty candidates. So it was relevant. I just didn't explain it well.
So for the record, in case anyone's trying to use this as a reference...
Which you shouldn't be.
You shouldn't, but...
What is with that square of disappearing lava?
It's, I'm sure the game is clipping it out of rendering, depending on what angle I'm looking at it from. I'm not sure why, but...
It's pretty... No, it's just flickering.
Oh, no, yeah, it actually is just flickering.
I think this was a point when I stopped looking at the screen while you were playing, so, like...
This was long past that.
Yeah.
You'd stopped paying attention long ago, which is fine. I don't blame you. This is some shit.
I think this was still when I was doing my shiny love disc hunting.
But I do want to point out, I'm in Geothermal Core now, according to the game, and the loading trigger for that is just on the other side of the door that led to this room. It's on the Geothermal Core side. And somehow, on my first time through here, I missed that. Which... I didn't realize you could even miss it, because you have to load this room by morph balling on top of the door, which should load this room and set you in this room, but it just kind of didn't for some reason. This game's weird.
Weird.
And inconsistent. And fake and gay.
Okay. So I'm going to provide the noise of the energy low sped up 3 times.
I think it'd be faster than that.
Probably. Your inventory has now been filled with dog residue.
And some dog salads.
Oh my god, it's so close.
Especially going up at a 90 to 3 angle.
I'm tired of all these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane. I like how that is the actual line.
Monday to Friday plane.
There's the door.
Now I just gotta get to it. I think hypothetically what you're actually supposed to do here is, I don't think I went up high enough. I think you have to go higher above the top of the room's collision box and then walk over the top of it and then morph ball and drop through it. I think that's the principle here. So I don't think I'm up high enough. I might be able to fudge it. I don't remember what my solution is here. It might just be, just keep falling off until I eventually manage to land on the top of the room's collision, but... No, I'm trying to get taller. Okay. There we go.
Trying to get taller.
Trying to get taller. Also, apparently those spider ball pegs sticking out of the wall beneath us have some very strange collision.
Oh. Like, I know you can step on them when you're trying to do this the 23% way.
So, fucking finally, we have the goddamn plasma beam.
Gold dame.
You just kind of morph ball through the bottom, and... Or you morph ball through the ceiling and just land on that
Also, pointing out
platform.
here, this is still out of bounds
Yeah.
due to the fact that the ceiling has never been raised.
The ceiling was never raised, so the fun is not over. You still have to navigate using out-of-bounds physics to get back in bounds. And I actually don't quite remember how that works. But at this point, I'm just heading to the save room. Once we hit the save room, the segment's over. And then what are we doing next time? We're going back through Phazon Mines, right?
I believe so, unless there's any random artifacts that should be collected first, but I think we'll just do those at the end.
Probably. Gotta do the fun times that are Phazon Mines Round 2 with Plasma Beam in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Which is gonna be even better.
Hallway of 4,000 Wave Troopers.
Mm.
And,
the heck am I doing?
Just vibrating and hoping that the game knocks you into bounds.
I'm not sure what my strategy is here.
This is so dumb. And I think this could have been avoided if you raised
Oh,
the
there
ceiling.
we go. I fell through the collision somehow.
Because the problem isn't getting the ceiling to raise. The problem is, oh wait, no, is it? Yeah, I think it is. Never mind.
Okay, so then now I'm on 23 energy because I lost so much energy from hitting lava out of bounds. So what's about to happen here is I'm going to walk through this room, and I'm going to have a great time trying to survive against these assholes.
Well, there's one death.
I
like how you save stated at 5 health. Like, you could have reran that previous room a couple times, but no.
I was too lazy. I just wanted to be done from what I remember.
Yeah. God damn.
I was just in a fuck it, go type of mode, as proved by that.
Yeah. I can make it.
Somehow, Skill Shot dodged all of those missiles that got fired at me. So now we're going to walk through here and the segment's going to end. So, any last words?
I don't know. Dog residue.
Fuck Geothermal Core.